If you're new to the channel, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if y'all new to the channel. We're going to wait for some people to come in.
The state of Georgia's Antonio Sledge in 22 SC 183572.
I know a lot of people sit back and they look at this like why is this constantly happening? Why didn't they give Thug any leniency? Why didn't they look out for Thug like they said they was? They didn't look out for Thug for one reason, because they wanted Thug real life to sit there and put his neck out there for everybody else, and then next thing you know, they turn on him. Like, I want y'all to understand, these people who y'all letting in y'all camp, these people who y'all trusting, these the same people who turning on you. Like, at the end of the day, we know for a fact how they rocking.
Good afternoon, Mr. Wright.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon.
And he was crying, man. And from this man even crying, it goes to show, like, these people, they did anything by desperate measures just to get out. They told on Thugger, like, at the end of the day, man, free Big Thug.
Mr. Sledge.
Good afternoon, y'all.
Good afternoon, councils Love and Hilton. Okay, councils, I understand this is supposed to be a negotiated plea. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your
Yes, Judge.
All right. Mr. Sledge, can I get you to raise your right hand as best you're able?
Yes.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the evidence you shall give in the matter now in hearing should be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God or so affirm?
Yes, I do.
All right, you put your hand down, sir. All right. Mr. Sledge, over the next several minutes, what's going to happen is we're going to go through such a thing called the providency inquiry. So basically, in our system of jurisprudence, we don't force people to plead guilty. So I have
They
to
got
be
down
sure
on
you
that
understand
man.
your constitutional rights.
I can't even
and that
put
you
it
freely and
past
voluntarily
nobody,
waive those
because
rights,
when you
so I
from
can
the
go ahead
hood,
and
you
sentence
supposed
you.
to
The
know
second thing it
for a
does
fact.
is
You supposed to trust them dudes
we
to
go
a
through a
certain
factual
extent. If
basis,
they
and I
doing all
determine
this
there's a
stuff out here
factual
in these
basis
streets for you,
that the state would have been able to
what you
prove
like?
in this
You
case
think that they
beyond a
just gonna
reasonable
be
doubt,
down? Like,
had
come
they
on
tried
now.
the case. So assuming that I find that you understand your rights, we call it the Boykin inquiry. And then the second thing is, then I find that there's a factual basis I can accept your plea. So, ladies, which one of you is going to do the plea?
I am, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Love is going to go and ask you a series of questions in just a minute. And then your attorney, Mr. Wright, will follow up with that. And then I'll answer all questions, and I should be able to.
They was in the courtroom with real live they lawyers.
Yes,
like,
sir.
why was they
Okay.
in the
All right.
courtroom in the meeting
Ms. Love,
so
whenever
that
you're
they
ready,
could sign a
madam.
plea deal? Like, at the end of the day, we know for a fact that, man, RP to everybody who got lost behind this, man. RP to all the guys, man. Free
Mr.
YSL.
Sledge,
Like,
please
at the
state
end
your
of the
true,
day, we know
correct,
this,
and legal
man.
name.
And if y'all
Antonio
rocking with
Sledge.
Thugger, hit the like
And
button.
are you the same
Subscribe to the
Antonio
channel.
Sledge, also known as MobTies, who is listed in indictment 22 SC 183572?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you at this time taking or under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or medication?
No, ma'am.
Is there any medication that you normally take?
Let
that
me
you
know
have
if
not
y'all
been
can hear
given
me.
today?
Let me
No,
know if y'all
ma'am.
can hear this, man.
How
Y'all
old
can
are
hear
you
it?
and how far have you gone in school?
I'm 41.
Can y'all hear it?
10th grade.
Let me know
Are
in the
you able
comment
to
section if
read,
y'all can
write,
hear it.
and understand the English language?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that you are charged with the following offenses?
Yes, ma'am.
Conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act,
Yes, ma'am.
as well as possession of a firearm by a convicted felon,
Yes,
as
ma'am.
listed in count 30
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure this
of
volume right.
indictment.
But
Yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
y'all, I want y'all to
Do you
like do some
understand that you have the
logical,
right to
like
plead
looking
either
at
guilty
the
or
evidence
not
that they
guilty to
got
these
against Thug.
charges, and that if
There's
you plead
half
not
of the
guilty or
majority of
remain
the stuff
silent, you may
that
receive
was
a jury trial?
basically incriminating Young Thug was
Have
the
you
stuff
had
that
enough
they said when
time
they
to
went in
speak
them
with your
private
attorney,
rooms with them
Mr.
investigators,
Derek Wright,
and
about all of
the
the facts
evidence
and
that they had
circumstances known to
from the
you
Hertz
regarding the
vehicle
charges in
from
this
all the way
indictment?
back
Yes,
in
ma'am.
Any potential
2013.
defenses?
And
Yes,
I want to
ma'am.
let y'all
Do
know
you
one
need more
thing.
time to discuss this case
Young
with your
Thug,
attorney?
nephew,
No, ma'am.
cousin, he had
Are you
said that
satisfied
Birdman
with his
reached
services?
out
Yes, ma'am.
and Birdman was trying
Do
to
you
put some
waive
things
a
together to
formal
get him
reading of
out.
the indictment?
But you know,
Yes, ma'am.
they past
Do you
previous
waive any
history.
and all
You
defects
know,
in the indictment,
Birdman, he
including any
sat
with
back
respect to
and he
your name?
said,
Yes,
I ain't
ma'am.
gonna be around
Have you
certain
been
people
arrested on
because
these
he don't want
charges?
no heat coming
Yes,
on
ma'am.
him from what
The
they
state is
doing.
unaware
So
of
it
any
goes to show
outstanding
what's really
warrants
going
related
on,
to
man.
these charges.
Like a lot of
Do
people, hit the
you
like button
or
if you're
do
new to
you,
the
Mr.
channel.
have any outstanding warrants that are related to these charges?
I do not.
Mr. Sledge, has your attorney advised you of the minimum and maximum sentence for each charge that you are pleading guilty to
Yes,
today?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that the minimum sentence for conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act is 5 years and the maximum is 20 years in prison?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that the sentence for violation of count 30 of this indictment, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, as in OCGA 1611-133, is 15 years in prison?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that this is a negotiated plea of guilty,
Yes, ma'am.
which means that the state will recommend to the court the following sentence?
Yes, ma'am.
As to count 1, 15 years to serve on probation, subject to the special conditions contained in the plea agreement that I have in my hand that I will show you in just a moment. And on count 30, although you are pleading guilty, sentencing will be withheld until the completion of the initial trial of this case. After the initial trial of this case, provided defendant you have complied with the special conditions outlined in sections B, C, D, F, and I of section 3 special conditions of sentence of this plea agreement, the state agrees that the defendant
It's
shall
sad
be allowed
because
to
they
withdraw
reading off
his
all
guilty plea
facts.
on count 30, and the state shall agree to null pros count 30. Do you understand that the court does not have to accept that recommendation? And we
And if y'all didn't know, Young Thug had his own family members
You understand
turn on
that?
him.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that the court can sentence you to the maximum on each charge and can run those sentences consecutively or one after the other if the court does not accept that negotiated plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you are currently
I know
on
for a
probation
fact
or
Thug
parole,
went wrong. He's
your
not in the
probation
wrong
or parole
because,
may be revoked
like real
based on your
talk, y'all
entering
know
a
for a
guilty
fact if
plea
y'all in the
today,
streets, y'all know
but
how
that
it
the
go.
state is not
If you get
recommending
locked up,
either.
keep your mouth
Yes,
closed.
ma'am.
Like
Do you
real talk,
understand
if
that
they
this
didn't have their
plea may
females
be
in their
used
ear,
to
Thug
enhance
wouldn't be in this
sentencing
situation.
on other convictions in this jurisdiction, as well as in other jurisdictions, including in the federal courts?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that this is a guilty plea, which is permanently recorded on your criminal history?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that this plea involves your being placed on probation, and that if you are placed on probation of any kind, you cannot violate any criminal laws of any governmental unit or any special condition of probation without being subject to revocation for the balance of the sentence? Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that you are not allowed to use or possess a firearm?
And I know for a fact a lot of people look at this and say, wait, why wasn't the people getting more time, even though they tried to cop out and everything, and they tried to literally like take lesser time? Why didn't the people who actually went out there and did what they did get more time than the person who was just around them? You see what I'm saying?
while on probation.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you are not a United States citizen, a guilty plea will affect your immigration status and will result in deportation, just like a conviction at trial would, and that this is true regardless of any advice given to you by your attorney or anyone else?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if at any time you are sentenced to confinement based on this sentence, neither the court, your attorney, nor the district attorney's office has anything to do with parole, and that in that circumstance, the Department of Corrections or Board of Pardons and Paroles
Want to join the six?
Yes. Hey Tracy. Hey, you see he crying? Buddy had to tell. That's why I say it's people out here. People don't know, man. Some people not aware of the fact that these people realize they want justice for Thug, but at the same time, a lot of people know for a fact that it's a lot of people like they don't want to see Thug get out because if Thug get out, it's gonna stop everything that they had going on. At the end of the day, we know this. We know this for a fact. Too many people saw Thug. Easily could have got up out that jam. What they do? They sat there and told on this man.
Who can address parole, and that no one can guarantee parole, no matter what anyone has told you.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that there may be other adverse or unfavorable consequences as a result of this guilty plea conviction, just as there would be from a conviction following a trial? For example, your guilty plea may affect your right to vote, your right to hold public office, your right to serve on a jury, your right to obtain a passport, your right to receive, possess, or transport a firearm, and your right or ability to obtain employment. Do you understand that these rights may be affected?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that by pleading
it's
guilty
crazy.
to a felony,
It's crazy how they
if you use,
instantly put
receive,
everything
possess,
out there
or
that
transport a
nobody's
firearm,
supposed to know
or
about
use
what
a
happened.
firearm in a crime, you will be guilty of another felony, which may carry a sentence
But
of
if
1 to
Wife
15
and Lucci
years
would have kept his
in
mouth
prison.
closed, this would have
Yes,
never
ma'am.
happened.
Do you understand that you waive any and all defenses, including any mental health defenses, by entering a plea of guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you went to trial,
They brought
you
up
would
the
have
fact
the
that
right
Wife
to
and
trial by
Lucci
jury,
had
the
a
right to
whole
see, hear,
court
and
case,
confront witnesses
and
called to
he went to
testify
court
against
and
you,
mentioned
and the
something that
right to
they
remain
never
silent and
even
not
asked. So
incriminate
that's
yourself.
called volunteer
Yes, ma'am.
information.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you are giving up the following rights? the right to a trial by jury, the right to remain silent and not incriminate yourself, the right to confront witnesses against
That's
you,
why I can't even
the
blame
right to the
Young
assistance of
Thug
counsel
for sitting there
hired by
calling
you or to
and
court-appointed
instantly
counsel
telling
if
them,
you
yeah,
cannot afford
Gunna,
an attorney at a trial
y'all
in
better
your
watch
case.
Gunna. Like
The
real
right to
talk,
the
he told
presumption of
everybody in
innocence,
YSL who's
the
still
right to
out,
testify
he
on your
told them,
own
don't even let
behalf
Gunna
and to
come
present
around
other
them.
evidence, the right to subpoena witnesses and compel the production
Just
of
imagine the
evidence,
stuff that
the
Gunna
right to
don't
have
know
the
about
charges
what
against
happened.
you proven beyond
Soon
a
as Gunna
reasonable
come
doubt,
around, soon as he
and
hear
the
about
right to
that, he
appeal if
instantly,
convicted of
he gonna
these
run
charges
right back
after a
up there.
trial. Do you understand that you are giving up all of these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm showing you what has been marked as State's Exhibit 1AS. Do you recognize the document in State's Exhibit 1AS?
Hit the like button. I know a lot of
Yes,
y'all
ma'am.
And is that
ain't
your
even
signature
subscribed to
on
the channel,
page 7 of
but it is
7
what it is.
of
You know,
State's
you
Exhibit
rock with the channel, hit the
1AS?
like button.
Yes,
Hey,
ma'am.
Buddy was crying, man. Buddy wanted to get out that bad. And I don't blame Young Thug, man. Free Thugger Thugger.
Your Honor, at this time,
Young Thug knew for a
and
fact
Mr.
that
Sledge, have you had an opportunity
if they
to
would have
review
never even
each
try to
and
drop
every
his
provision
location
within
and
State's
his
Exhibit
whereabouts on what
1AS?
really,
Yes, ma'am.
you feel me, what really happened, to be honest, like,
As
this would have never
reflected
happened, man,
on
because
State's
they ain't
Exhibit
there with the masses
1AS.
on, man. People can't even see if they
The
instantly
current
biting their
charges
lip
that
or
you
anything.
face.
Like, y'all gotta
So I'm not the
understand
smartest
what's
guy in the
going
world,
on, man,
but I made
because Thug should have never had to
$49,000 in the
go through
last
this,
30
man.
days copying and
At the end
pasting.
of the day, we know for a
Are
fact that
count
they
one,
sat there and played a
conspiracy to
part.
violate
They played
the
a big role
Racketeer
in this,
Influenced and
man.
Corrupt Organizations Act.
They knew what they was
And
doing, man.
count 30, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon previously convicted of a
And it's
felony
people who
involving
sat
the
back
use
and
or
look at it.
possession
And
of
to
a
be honest
firearm,
with you,
OCGA 16
everybody in
133.
Houston, they
The
blaming
negotiated sentence
the
as
whole
outlined
YSL
in
camp for
States
telling
1AS
on Young Thug,
is
because
count
Young Thug
1,
could have got
15
out
years
this
on probation,
easily if
and
they would
count
have
30,
instantly
sentencing
just
withheld until
used
the
their lawyer
completion
like
of the
they
initial
was supposed
trial
to
of
do,
this case.
instead of being
After the
thirsty to
initial
get out.
trial of this case, provided defendant has complied with the special conditions outlined in section B as in boy, C as in Charlie, D as in Delta, F as in Frank, I as in Indigo of section 3 special conditions of sentence of this plea agreement. The state agrees that defendant shall be allowed to withdraw his guilty plea on count 30, and the state shall agree to null pros count 30. The special conditions of the sentence, as outlined in section 3, are that defendant shall abide in full by each and all of the terms of this negotiated agreement. Defendant's failure to abide by any term of this agreement shall constitute a violation of the agreement. Defendant shall testify truthfully about all matters relating to this case upon which he is questioned at any trial or judicial proceeding stemming from the facts alleged in this indictment. In accordance with testifying truthfully about all matters relating to this case, defendant acknowledges that each and all of the statements contained within the defendant's factual acknowledgments section of this agreement are true. Defendant shall testify truthfully about each statement within its factual acknowledgement and any matters related to this case when asked to do so in any proceeding related to the facts alleged in this indictment. Defendant shall possess no guns unless his right to do so is restored. Defendant shall commit no criminal acts. Defendant
I
shall
feel
submit
that
to
Young
random
Thug
drug
should
screenings
literally
by the
just
Department of Community
go along with
Supervision
the
and
protocol
any agency
and then
designated
just
by the
fall
court in
back.
this
You
case.
feel me? Once they
Should
do
the
let them
defendant
out
test
on
positive for
house
any
arrest
Schedule
or
1, 2, or
Abon,
3 drugs,
y'all gotta understand, man.
defendant shall within 30
And
days of said
when I say
positive test
Abon, man, just
undergo drug
the bond to
rehabilitation as
where he gotta
designated
put
by the
up at
court
least
or the Department
100K.
of
You
Community
feel me?
Supervision and shall successfully complete said rehabilitation program.
Because Thug
Defendant
shouldn't have to
relinquishes
face
any
no
Fifth
time
Amendment
for what
right
they
related to
did.
any statement
Thug was
contained
making
within
music.
defendant's factual
Like real
acknowledgments
talk, Thug
contained
was
within
on the
this plea
road
agreement.
doing shows. They was out
Section
there,
4,
and who's to
defendant's
say that
factual
they wasn't
acknowledgments.
the ones calling him, asking him like
Have
they trying to
you
be down with
initialed
YSL. You
each
feel me? You know
and
how many
all
people
of the
wanted to be in
defendant's factual
YSL?
acknowledgments contained within section 4 of this document?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that
Yeah, I mean, people
initial
want to be
AS
YSL,
your
boy.
initial?
Yes, ma'am.
The factual acknowledgements are as follows. Number one, Young Slime Life, aka YSL, is an organization made up of 3 or more members or associates who share common identifiers that include, but are not limited to, colors, hand signals, and terminology, who have committed crimes intended to increase the notoriety, street credibility, and reputation of YSL. Number two, defendant has been a member and or associate of YSL since 2012. Number three, while associated with YSL and to support and express loyalty to YSL, defendant and co-defendant Demikion Garlington and Quindarius Zachary appeared in a video.
Hit the like button if y'all rocking with YSL. Hit the like button
brandished a weapon
if y'all rocking with
used in a drive-by
YSL.
shooting.
Like real talk,
And
if
where
y'all
on
rocking with
behalf of
Thugger, if it's free
YSL,
Thugger, hit the like
defendant
button.
threatened to harm a person named Kel, a rival gang member who had begun a relationship with defendant's ex-girlfriend. Number
RP
four,
Takeoff,
on or
RP
about
Duke,
April
RP
28,
Lil Key.
2015, as reflected in Fulton County Indictment 15SC 138994, defendant and fellow YSL associates Demikion Garlington and Quindarius Zachary committed a drive-by shooting using the firearm defendant wielded in the video referenced in Part 3 of this section, targeting family members of a rival gang. Number five, defendant and his fellow YSL associates committed the drive-by shooting referenced in sections 3 and 4 above on behalf of YSL and to increase the notoriety, reputation, and fear of YSL. Number six, defendant admitted committing and was convicted of aggravated assault and participation in criminal street gang activity, among other charges, for his participation in the drive-by shooting referenced in sections 3, 4, and 5 above. Number seven,
RP
defendant
Lil
was
Key,
told by
man.
another YSL
They
associate that
sat there
immediately after the
and
murder
did
of
that
Donovan
to
Thomas
Thug,
Jr.,
and he was
YSL
still
associates
grieving
met at the
over
McDonald's
Lil
on
Key,
Cleveland
man.
Avenue
That's
in
why
Atlanta,
Thug
Georgia,
really wanted to
to
get out.
discuss
You
the
gotta
murder.
understand,
Number
Thug was
eight,
taking care of Lil
defendant
Key
personally
whole
knows
family,
that one or
man.
more YSL associates committed the murder of Donovan Thomas Jr. on behalf
I
of
want y'all to
YSL.
really pay attention to
Number
what's going
nine,
on, man. He
January the 10th,
realized took care of them people,
2015, after
man.
the murder of Donovan Thomas Jr.,
Some
defendant
people
and
look
other
at it like
YSL associates gathered at
Thug
the
was
home
supposed
of
to
Jeffrey Williams,
yada yada
aka
walk
Young
around.
Thug, who
No,
gave
Thug
defendant
did
and
what
other
he did,
YSL
man.
associates
Thug
cash
sat
money
back
to
and put
lay
them
low.
boys on.
Number
At the
10,
end of the
defendant
day,
has personal knowledge that on January 10, 2015, after the murder of Donovan Thomas Jr., YSL associates traveled to Miami, Florida with co-defendant and YSL founder Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug. Number 11, defendant did not murder Donovan Thomas Jr. and was not a party to the crime. Number 12, defendant did not murder Shamel Drinks and was not a party to the crime. Number 13, defendant.
Website visitors bouncing? Stress less. Convert more. Try Hot.
I want y'all to really pay attention to what's going on, man, because it's people out here, they looking at it like, hold on. Why would Thug even get himself in this? He didn't get himself in this. It's the people around him. They realized was slipping. They were slipping on everything that they realized, knew for a fact, if you even wanted to be around the YSL label, you realize you had to show that you was, you feel me, some type of security.
And defendant will make no attempt at trial, prior to trial, or after trial to exonerate the persons charged in this indictment with the murder of Donovan Thomas Jr. Number 14, the gas station at 151 Cleveland Avenue, Atlanta, Georgia, is one of multiple locations where YSL associates sell drugs and do not allow other gangs to operate.
Jay Prince Jr., he kind of messed up
the gas
because
station at 221 Cleveland Avenue,
this
Atlanta,
is
Georgia,
why
is another
YFN
location
Lucci
where
did what he
YSL
did,
associates
because
sell drugs and do not permit other
got
gangs to
ties
operate.
with
Number
YFN
16,
Lucci, and Jay Prince
defendant
Jr.
has
knew what
personal
happened.
knowledge that he and other members or associates of YSL have either participated in or directly committed at least one of the following crimes in order to increase the notoriety and reputation of YSL: murder, armed robbery, aggravated assault, attempted murder, theft, illegal gun possession, and illegal drug possession and sales. Mr. Sledge, have you had an opportunity to go over each one of the defendant's factual acknowledgments and make corrections where necessary?
Yes.
And do you now acknowledge under oath that each of the factual acknowledgments that you have initialed in this section are true and correct and accurate to the best of your ability?
Yes, ma'am.
Part 5 of this plea agreement, Your Honor, states that defendant's sentencing acknowledgments are as follows. Defendant understands fully that if he violates any provision or any special condition of this plea agreement, the district attorney can and will use the contents of this document and agreement during any judicial proceeding. Defendant understands fully that if he violates any provision or any special condition of this plea agreement, his probation for this sentence may be revoked in its entirety, and the district attorney will recommend that defendant serve any remaining portion of this sentence in confinement at the Georgia Department of Corrections or prison. Number 3, defendant understands fully that any violation of any provision or of any special condition of this plea agreement shall result in defendant being sentenced on count 30 of this indictment. And the district attorney will recommend
That's
that
why
the
I say
defendant serve the
that
maximum
dude who
sentence
just came
allowed
from the
by law.
back there, the
Number
security
4,
right there,
defendant understands
that was the
fully
same
that if
security
prior
who
to the
walked up on
conclusion
Thug
of
and
the
said,
initial trial of this
"Man,
case, defendant
you know all
fails
your
or
homies
refuses
snitching
to
on you."
testify
Thug
to
instantly,
any
he
fact that
looked
he
up at him and
acknowledges in
said,
this plea
"Man,
agreement. Such
I know
failure or refusal
everybody telling on
nullifies
me
any
right now,
promise made by
and
the
I really
district
can't do
attorney to
nothing
null
about it."
cross count
And
30
once
of this indictment.
Once
Number
Thug
5,
instantly dropped that
defendant
first
understands
tear,
fully that defendant's
that
violation of
security
any
guard, he
provision or of
instantly
any special
knew it
condition
was
of this
real
plea
then.
agreement
And he
prior
knew
to the
for a fact
conclusion
that
of the initial
Thug
trial of this
tried.
case
He
shall
really tried to
nullify
tell
any
his
promise
homies, like,
made by the
"Man,
district attorney
do what
to
you
null
gotta
cross
do,
count 30
man,
of this
but
indictment
you
and may
still have to be
result in
cautious
defendant being."
of the stuff that you're doing, man."
And Your Honor, there is a typo that is in this document. It's the word should be being, and it's spelled B-E-G-I-N. I'm going to ask that defendant just strike through and initial that word, B-E-G-I-N to B-E-I-N-G.
Right through. Change it to E. And then initial right there.
And Mr. Sledge, is that your initial above the strike through of the word began to change it to being?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And may result in defendant being sentenced to serve as much as 35 years of confinement in the Georgia Department of Corrections or prison. Number 6, defendant understands fully that no promises, agreements, or conditions have been made other than those set forth in this document. Mr. Sledge, are these your initials on each section under defendant's sentencing acknowledgments?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Sledge, do you agree that the following statement is one that you have read, fully understood, and signed your name acknowledging? I, Antonio Sledge, have read and carefully reviewed this agreement. I have reviewed and corrected where necessary for accuracy